What's up? I made this awesome cool Lich build and it's really looking like a crazy Lich. Let me show you this in action. It's insanely fun build that will focus on speed farming. You can push about like 3 to 500 corruption with it. Look at this. We're instantly getting our health back. I don't know, it's super like cool looking. Insanely fun to play actually. And you're like real Dash Shadow. Oh my goodness. And footage is not sped up, it's really like this fast. Oh my, it's really amazing. Unlike other Lich builds, you're like at least pressing some buttons and that's like amazing. Traveling through the map really fast. So I guess you're already enjoying this build and let me show you how you can make it yourself with all gear, skills and passives. Let's start with the skills first, and this build is designed with a Reap Harvest. So that basic skill requires 0 mana and you're just attacking with your scythe in circle. And yeah, it's not in the front of you, it's basically circle, so you can just spam this ability and you don't need to aim. You will attack enemies from the back too. That's just nice to know. And that was my like main objective. I wanted to design build that uses this skill. So I want like melee, crazy Lich who going into melee range and just attacking enemies. That was main idea. And then we will use complementary skills, Bone Curse, which is Curse, and Spirit Plague, it's Curse too. And also we will be using Transplant ability to teleport as fast as possible. And yeah, we will be using Reaper Form to be a real cool Lich. And one more cool part, this build is really flexible. I will explain what to pick and why you pick these nodes, but you can adapt it. You can like have less points in some of this stuff and get more points in other if you wish. So feel free to flex points in these categories. And with Reap, normally you want this bottom node over here, like all bottom tree. You're starting with Harrowing Blade, which will give you necrotic resistance, shred chance. So now we can shred enemies necrotic resistance and do more damage with our necrotic skills, which is Harvest. Harvest scaling with necrotic, melee, area, dexterity and intelligence. Intelligence will increase necrotic damage and dexterity will just increase damage. So whole build will be around scaling with necrotic damage, melee damage, attack speed, critical strike chance, critical strike scaling, and points in intelligence and dexterity. So we got now some necrotic shred chance. I get 4 points in here to get to the next nodes. And because we're complementing the skill with curses, I like these 2 nodes here, Life Eater. Now every time we hit cursed enemies, we get in health based on our intelligence. And Mark of the Locust, which will help spread Spirit Plague if enemies is still alive. So it's useful when you're playing on high corruption and enemies not dying in one hit. You can just focus on big enemies and Plague will spread among other guys. Then we can invest some points in Great Size. It will increase area of damage of this size, so you're like doing more damage in more area. It helps clearing monoliths faster. And then we go in bottom, as I told you. So we increase in base crit chance, 3 points in here. Crit chance is really important. And also global increase crit chance. So spectral whetstone just for Harvest. And if we hit cursed enemies with Harvest with next node, we get an increased critical chance again with next part. But our most important stuff, if we spend 3 points over here, we get in Steel Yoss. You have more movement speed if you have landed a critical strike with Harvest recently. So we're using Harvest as main skill and we get in movement speed. That's another stuff I'm scaling with. I guess you already saw how fast my Lich was. And then these nodes over here, you can like spend some stuff in it. Symbol of Loss, Harvest hits deal more damage against cursed enemies. So I guess self-explanatory. Some points in this category is really nice for more damage. And also Harvest grants you ward when you hit cursed enemies. We can spend some points in here. And again, it's really flexible. We can like take some points from area of effect, maybe from critical strike chance, and drop them into Mind Harvest for more ward on hit. If we're going for high corruption, feel flexible. Now let's go to our curses and how we complement them to make our harvest really broken. Spirit Plague. Normally you're leveling this skill to the right tree to inflict more damage and do other stuff, but right now we don't need Spirit Plague to kill enemies. We need it for other reason. And that's why we instantly go into the left node, get in this snail, Now Spirit Plague will inflict slow on enemies. Plague Burst on the top, 2 points in here. We don't care about this node like at all. And we want this node. Putrid Recovery. You gain ward when hitting an enemy afflicted by Spirit Plague. So as you can see with full build, we got really low health, basically 160 health normally. And we want this ward to be our protective layer. So we can take a hit before we land a hit, just in case. And then basically do whatever you like. You can have mana efficiency and increased duration at the bottom. I like all points in here. Perpetuity, it will increase casting speed and duration, so we don't need to cast it as often as we would cast it otherwise. And also doing it faster means we can land more harvest shots on enemies. And then left tree is really useful too for same reasons. Basically enfeeblement will debuff enemies, so we will be more protective. Then Contagion, it will increase mana cost, but also it will give you ability to cast this skill in area instead of single target. And then all points in Plague Purview to increase area. So area is really big, you just land it and it's a lot of enemies will be plagued at the same time. And now you harvest harvesting ward from them and doing all other stuff, so it's easy to keep it. And then you can take Plague of Ice, so it's doing some necrotic damage, at least non-zero damage. Or get more points in mana efficiency, so just whatever you like, actually, it doesn't matter too much. Make sure to get all points in Putrid Recovery and Plague Purview. Then we're going to Bone Curse, our next ability. So Bone Curse, applying Curse to an enemy in area for 8 seconds. And this Curse doing physical damage when hit. So normally when you're doing this curse, it will do no damage at all, 0 damage. But for next 8 seconds, any other damage will trigger this stuff and basically will do damage to enemies. But this damage is tripled if you're inflicting the hit yourself, so that's coolest part. Damage is kinda low, but every hit will do a lot of damage. And also it scales with intelligence, so in reality it's really powerful stuff. And first of all, we need to change its scaling tech. Normally it's physical damage, and that's why we want to have 4 points in Conflation to increase area, then get 1 point in Sigil of Mortality to gain chance to inflict Mark of Dash, which will increase our damage output on enemies, and also Reaper's Mark. Now it will last longer and basically double duration, so it's not 8 seconds but 16, very useful against bosses and other guys. And then 1 point in Misery, so now physical converted to necrotic damage. Now we scaling every skill with necrotic damage, that's cool. So what we do next? Next we want to get points in here. So first of all, we're increasing damage with Iron Maiden, and then because we're really powerful right now, we get 1 point in Acute Infliction. So normally it will last for 8 seconds, but a lot of time you don't need it to last for 8 seconds, and you changing it to fall off after 4 hits, but with increased damage. Also I tested this node, Illusion of Pain. It working pretty nicely, but it slows down our clearing speed a little bit, so it's useful against bosses. It will fall off after 1 hit, but it will increase damage really high amount. So for clearing monoliths and farming them and having fun, don't pick this node. Instead go to the top part, get 3 points in Brittle Bones, so now you got some kill threshold with increased damage, and also Cursed Limbs. Very cool and powerful stuff. So after you casting this Bone Curse, you will cast Bone Curse on hit for next few seconds, and this means we fighting against group of targets, we casting Bone Curse, doing our Rip ability, and then we fighting another group of targets. So now you're just doing hit and it will automatically apply Bone Curse. That's nice combination with Illusion of Pain, especially if you spend 5 points in here, because you will apply it for 5 seconds and Bone Curse will have cooldown of 6 seconds. So maybe think to just remove a little bit of Iron Maiden, it's giving only 10% bonus per point, and get point in Illusion of Pain. So that's our main combination to inflict damage, and we can even be without Reaper form if we get in this Transplant. So what we do with Transplant? You will use the skill early game basically for teleporting and clearing stuff faster, so get all 3 points in left node, Fleeting Form, to increase your casting speed and cooldown recovery for this spell, and also Acolyte Fervor. So when you jump, you will get Haste and Frenzy, more movement speed and attack speed at the same time. Then you get in 1 point in Scarlet Terrain to increase area and get to this ethereal body to convert physical damage from transplant to necrotic damage. And that's basically it. So we got everything we need. What other stuff I got here? So I increased area, all 4 points in here. And also I like these 3 nodes. So this bottom one, when you jump in on cursed enemies or spirit plagued enemies, and that's 2 skills we got already, you already know it. You will do more damage, you will gain health and ward. So your like basic combination with these spells is to cast 1 curse, 2nd curse, and jump. So after jumping, you will regain all health, then you just transform into Reaper form and leech from enemies. And now you will be on full health, and you will feel like safely and powerful. So also Rain of Blood, additional detonation at arrival, you jump forward to doing more damage. And also Doombringer is nice, it will do Bone Curse on arrival. So technically you can just use Spirit Plague and then just jump to inflict Bone Curse. And then you just decide what you like. Fear on departure and on arrival is powerful nodes, but we don't want enemies to run away from us. Violent Emergence is really nice because it's highest kill threshold, but we got kill threshold on other like skills, on Bone Curse especially. So here I like to take Sticky Blood to leave a pool of blood that will slow enemies and also reduce health cost of the skill. So that's my notes over here. And let's go to Reaper form, our like most powerful and favorite ability. So that's pretty easy. You go in bottom, getting 1 point to increase your necrotic damage, then right, Swift Harbinger, reducing Rip cooldown, and then getting 1 point in Unholy Dominion. Now Rip and Transplant no longer shares a cooldown. So Rip is a cool skill. When you transform it into Reaper form, you will get the skill on your hotbar. And now basically what's happening, you can just use it as traversal skill to just jump a little bit. You know, like evade enemy attacks and do other stuff. And you don't want it to share cooldown with your transplant ability, it will be a little lower cooldown, so that's a nice note to have. But then you're going to the left side. So here we will get more movement speed with Ghastly Flow, I got all points in here. Then Reaper Curse. While in Reaper form you deal increased damage and have increased critical strike chance, but lose health when you kill an enemy. Because we got so high leech rate, it doesn't matter like at all, you can like completely freely use it. And then dash comes quickly, you get chance to get swiftness on kill. Honestly, I never saw this stuff activating. I don't know, is it bugged or like whatever stuff it is, but still we get like 2 points in here to get to the next node, a Rapid Destruction. We get more attack speed and casting speed. So attack speed is really cool, we can like attack more often in Reaper form. And then what we can have like other stuff, what to invest in. So we can get more points in Dash of Skies, it will increase our necrotic damage, and also then Executioner, critical multiplier. So stronger crest means we are like more powerful, and stuff to think about if you're not using a Rip a lot, maybe like get points from these nodes and drop them into Executioner. And that's basically it. So that's our Reaper form. So how this build works based on our passives. Let's go. Because I guess you already understand, like, playstyle is super simple yet very effective. Because we're casting Bone Curse on boost abilities, so we basically using something like this. We're using Bone Curse, our Spirit Plague, then we're doing Harvest, getting our health back, or we're doing Reaper form, and then Harvest, it will do like the same stuff. And we instantly becoming super fast with 69 movement speed. And then basically we're balancing stuff out. We're trying to use Bone Curse and Transplant of the cooldown. So Bone Curse, attack, 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 Transplant, attack, 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 something like this. And just have fun. That's considering you're using Illusion of Pain, so your Bone Curse will have a cooldown. If you don't using it, you're just running around and using Bone Curse, attacking a few times and jumping. So passives. To get to the Lich, we need 20 points in Acolyte first, and that's what we're taking here. Blood Aura, increasing damage. Straightforward and self-explanatory. Intelligence and Necrotic Resistance, 8 points in here. Again, self-explanatory, we need Intelligence. But also we need like 4 more points to get to Lich form. And you can have more armor, but I don't think it's a really powerful node. So stuff to think about, maybe Blood Pact. Maybe Blood Pact, you will be drained your health 1%, but will do increased damage. or Vitality. It will just give you more health, really better for early game when you're just leveling. So this is my notes when I was leveling this Lich. I still haven't changed it. So let's find out how impactful they are. Right now we got 13k697. So if we invest 4 points in this node, okay, I guess it's like pretty nice damage boost. But when you're leveling, probably it will be like a pain. So maybe get these points after respecting your character. And then basically like a lot of useless stuff, so we never investing in Acolyte again. Instead we're switching to Lich finally. And for this build we're getting all points in Lich. That's like coolest part, we don't need anything else. So in what order you want to get these nodes? Again, it's super flexible. You don't need any skills with this build, so you don't care about them. And I recommend getting like few points in each of these nodes and then leveling them after. So here we have intelligence and increased mana regeneration. Again, our like main scaling abilities, very powerful stuff, and also dance with dash. It will just increase your damage, and when you're at low life, it will triple this damage. So your first hit with Harvest will be always like insanely powerful. But again, you're just getting 4 points in here, and your main idea with this build, go to the last nodes first, and then scale backwards. So you can pick intelligence, you can pick dance with dash, do whatever you like while you're leveling. It doesn't matter too much. Then next part is Grasp of Fate. It will increase necrotic damage with scaling all skills with necrotic damage. So you need this node. And then Soul Barrier. Don't invest in Soul Barrier earlier. So get these nodes when you start to lose your health. And basically that's how it works. Every now and then it's on cooldown right now, and it will activate itself and give you ward. So that's why I'm like getting ward all the time. It helps with your survivability and giving you like ability to get this first hit and not like die to a random, really not powerful strike. But again, you don't need a lot of points in here. You want to go to the next part. And Mental Cacophony, it will give you mana and ward retention. So just a little bit of ward retention helps you to like maintain this ward, and you gain ward on hits. So it's like useful stuff. But even without this node, you will be like completely fine most of the time. So get it only if you just feel you lack in survivability. Instead, there's two really powerful nodes. So Unclosing Wounds, it will increase damage, but will drain your health. Again, you don't care about this drain. And Crippling Insight gives you intelligence, 16 intelligence, by reducing your health regeneration. You don't need health regeneration at all. So that's like super powerful power spike when you get to these nodes, get to them as fast as possible. So most of great nodes right now, they increasing your spell damage or some bleed, poison stuff, damage over time. You don't need it. So Bonds of the Fallen, for example, increasing spell damage 10 per point. Nice increasement, but it's not affecting your harvest because it's not spell. So never get points in it. Instead, in the next part, you want 3 plagues. It will increase your physical, necrotic, and poison penetration. We're here for necrotic, of course. All our spells is necrotic. And for this node, I got only 5 points. But again, at this part of the game, you can just completely remove Soul Barrier if you got other sources of ward. So if you got some kind of ward, you will be completely fine, and you can get points in 3 plagues instead, max out. And you will be like insanely powerful. And next part, but it will be not next, probably already in the end of this tree. So in the end, we got 10 points in here to get 20 intelligence, really nice power boost, and also Soul Maw. It will give you more leech. So damage leached as health 5% and increasing your health leech rate. So that's powerful survival nodes. And that's what we got here. So we got like maxed out this part of tree, Dashbringer, increasing critical strike chance, attack speed and casting speed. Then Dark Guard, increasing critical strike chance and you gaining ward on critical strike hit. Also necrotic energy, spell necrotic damage and melee necrotic damage increased, so we're increasing damage of our rip ability, and also insight to increase our critical strike multiplier. And also Angelic Aesthetic, increasing attack speed, casting speed, movement speed, and damage leached as health on hit. So that's nice buffs, and that's our final tree. So now our leech is ready, and finally, how to finish this build, what items to have. So idols is like really simple. You just increasing critical strike chance, increasing your health. Still, your health won't be as low when you're hitting enemies. You need them to just not be in one shotted easily. And that's basically it. I don't know. You can just experiment with idols a little bit. I got like basic health idols, and that's it. Mostly just increasing health and critical strike chance. And small idols is just like damage over time and necrotic resistance, but it's kinda useless, so we don't need them. So what about gear and what gear you want to have? First of all, because we got so low health, I think one of the most important stuff is Woven Flesh. It will increase your leech rate and give you 100% critical strike avoidance. Then Dash Embrace. It's two-handed axe, and that what was built like this is based on. You get a necrotic damage, melee critical strike multiplier, reducing bonus damage taken from critical strikes, but we're not taking them, we don't care. But also it's giving you buff to your harvest ability. So when you're using harvest, every third strike will do 200% more damage. Like insane stuff. Also, stuff to look on your items is basically increasing your critical strike chance, multipliers, getting intelligence, maybe some leech abilities. So for armors, it will be armor, resistances. Make sure to cap all resistances and get your armor to about like 2k, 3k will be enough. Better like even more, but I don't have it right now. And also you can increase like necrotic damage and other stuff. So that's basically what you're looking on gear. So next items is Bone Climber Barboot. And again, I just made build only with uniques. You like don't need these uniques to make this build work. It's working even without them. But this helmet is really nice. It giving you ward per your uncapped necrotic resistance every second. And with this like helmet, you can finally feel safe even with like 80 health total when you're starting your fight. For amulet, right now I got Omnis, but you can have any amulet. Ring, I got Atlaria ring. It will give me a lot of attributes and less damage taken if I have a lot of attributes. And also Siphon of Anguish, really nice ring, increasing your melee leech rate, your normal leech rate, and increasing movement speed, also giving you elemental resistances and chance to apply doom on hit. It's not really beneficial stuff, but still. And also Murama's Hilt. I don't think it's like most beneficial stuff in my arsenal. It having increased curse damage and spell cast speed, so I'm not sure how much damage I'm doing with Bone Curse and Spirit Plague with this build actually. But increasing cast speed is really nice, so we can like spend more time using Harvest. And also we gain in mana when using Harvest, so we never like out of mana. Another relic to look for is probably Twisted Heart. It will convert your health to ward when you directly cast a necrotic spell. So Harvest is not a spell, but still you will cast Bone Curse from time to time. And let's actually test it right now with you, but first of all, my belt, just belt that giving dodge rating and movement speed, and some ward when I dodge. We're not dodging too much, but still dodge rate, like increasing movement speed is the way to go. And that's why I got Advent of Erased, boots that give me movement speed and more movement speed, and chance to haste when nearby enemies dies, so we're getting like a lot of movement speed and gaining ward for each haste. And also Swaddling of Erased, we get doing more melee damage to high health enemies and more spell damage to low health enemies. It will help us kill low health enemies with Plague and doing more damage with Harvest to high health enemies. And also we're getting all attributes bonus, so it's pretty nice stuff. So let's see how this stuff works. With more strength we got more health, that's fine. Let's see. So we're ripping, we're regen HP, and now every time we're casting spells we're getting some ward. So this looks actually nice. I think this relic is a lot more powerful for late game situations. So we're getting mana on hit. We're actually out of mana, but that's fine, I guess. Rip costing so much mana. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we became like a lot more powerful right now, I would say. It's insane. Some problems with mana, but still, I guess we will be like fine. So I hope you enjoyed this cool Lich build, and you will have blast playing it for yourself. Make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen right now, and see you in the next videos, guys.